So moving on to the commercial city of Lagos. At 10 a.m. in Lagos this morning is thunderstorm with 30 degrees Celsius. At 11 a.m. is thunderstorm with 31 degrees Celsius. At 12 p.m. is cloudy with 31 degrees Celsius. At 1 p.m. is thunderstorm with 32 degrees Celsius. At 2 p.m. is thunderstorm with 32 degrees Celsius. At 3 p.m. is intermittent cloud with 33 degrees Celsius. At 4 p.m. is partly sunny with 32 degrees Celsius. At 5 p.m. is intermittent cloud with 32 degrees Celsius. At 6 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 31 degrees Celsius. And at 7 p.m. is cloudy with 30 degrees Celsius. At 8 p.m. is cloudy with 30 degrees Celsius. At 9 p.m. is cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius. And at 10 p.m. is cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius. About 11 p.m. is cloudy with 28 degrees Celsius. To the last city on the first segment this morning, which is the vibrant city of Ibadan, where we are transmitting live from. At 10 a.m. in Ibadan this morning, it's cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius. At 11 cloudy with 26 degrees Celsius. Moving on to the second segment on the show, which is the headlines making around the Nigerian newspaper. And the first newspaper we're bringing on this morning is the Punch newspaper. And the latest story on the Punch newspaper this morning says 11 PDP governors urge Supreme Court to halt Rivers emergency rule. 11 PDP governors urge Supreme Court to halt Rivers emergency rule. And page 2 has the details to that story. And there's one right out to the story that says how the analysis to that story. And there's one right out to the story that says Nigeria policies create significant trade barriers that to Nigerian Tribune, and the latest story on Nigerian Tribune this morning says Presidency Udume roll over lopsided appointment claims, and page 3 has the details to that story. And there are two riders to that story. The first rider says Tinubu's appointment not reflecting federal character, says Undume. The last rider says your outburst reeks over hypocrisy, selective perception, says Presidency, and page 3 had analysis to that stories. Jungle. Another story on Nigerian Tribune this morning says bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau, says Muftwang, and page 27 has the details to that story. to Boko Haram, says Zulum, and page 20 has the details to that story. Story on Nigerian Tribune this morning says Rivers cost top IBADAN from appointing administrators in LGAs, and page 30 has the details to that story. Shettima inaugurates NISO board, signals new era in power sector. And there's one reader to the story that says it is a significant milestone in ongoing power sector reform, says Belei, and page 11 has the details to that stories. Another story on Nigerian Tribune says Ondo farmers youth protest over alleged killing of farmers by suspected herdsmen, and page 3 has the details to that story. And the last story on Nigerian Tribune says breast worries over food scarcity, rising prices. And there's one rider to the story that says begin probe of intervention fund to MDAs from 2017 to 2024, and page 11 has the details to that stories.
Jungle.
Shiti lọ́lọ́kanjọ̀kan ìkànnì AFM rédíò ọba ló jẹ́.
The Aces Hotels and Conference Center is one and only event place with a clear difference and tasteful excellence here in the ancient city of Ibadan. For your next and upcoming event, whether marriage engagement, wedding reception, anniversaries, conferences, seminars, or birthday, the Aces Hotels and Conference Center is affordable and fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, power, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aces Hotel and Conference Center today at kilometer 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road at Kere Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center, where comfortability speaks than words.
Gbogbo ọ̀yà ni ó mọ̀ pera rẹ̀ lódù bó bá jẹ́ níbi tí kábánira mọ́tò láti òkè òkun tàbí ó fẹ́ ra ojúlówó mọ́tò ilé tí ó já lálòpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ mọ́tò Onabis Automobile òní òye àkànṣí eléyìí tó kalẹ̀ sí kìlómítà 8 Old Ife Road àdójúkọ tó rẹ́sẹ̀ láti ilẹ̀ òkèrè sórílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà kódà orí ọ̀fẹ́ wà láti bá yín ṣe àmójútó láti bá yín ṣe àyẹ̀wò sí mọ́tò yín iléeṣẹ́ Onabis Automobile òun gẹ́gẹ́ ni mò ń pè níyẹn o ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 0803-371-0636 0803-371-0636 Onabis Automobile boom 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 boom.
odò bí àdán ò sí ẹ má yúrò ń bẹ̀ fún ìròyìn tí ò lábùlà ìròyìn eré ìdárayá orin tó dùn gbá létí àṣà ẹ̀fẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ gbogbo tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ mọ̀ lójú kan ṣoṣo òun náà ló wà ní ìkànnì NFM rédíò àti TV àjà ló lẹ́rù irọ́ ní ẹlẹ́mbà.
ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ lè gbà mí.
mo gbà wọ́n gùdù. eléyìí tó dojúkọ ilé ìfowópamọ́ Keystone Bank agbègbè àbáyọ̀mí ìwòrò nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ sí àwọn ilẹ̀kùn ayẹta àwọn táìtì tí ó gbóhùn iyì àti ẹwà bá ilé àwọn àgbá omi lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan moving sheet eléyìí tí ó gbé àwòrán ilé jáde àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ gbogbo rẹ̀ ló wà lójú kan náà lọ́dọ̀ Stanhouse Homes Wear Enterprise fún gbogbo kọ́lékọ́lé àti àgbálẹ́kọ́. Gbogbo àwọn ohun èlò ilé eléyìí tí ó sọ ní ìrẹ́dì àwòdámi ẹnu ọ̀dọ̀ Stallion Homes Wear Enterprise ní ilé àkàsí yìí. Ẹ pè sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 0708-760-5119 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 0708-760-5119. Stallion Homes Wear Enterprise fún ojúlówó àwọn èròjà ilé tó ní owó lójú.
So welcome back to the show. It's still from the newspaper. Don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at MFM Radio and TV, and as you're watching us, please don't forget to like, comment and share. We are now in the last segment of From the Newspaper this morning, which is the details to the headlines. And the first story I'll bring in on this morning says 11 PDP governors urge Supreme Court to halt reverse emergency rule. A total of 11 governors of People Democratic Party has approached the Supreme Court challenging what powers President Bola Tinubu has to suspend the democratically elected structure of the state. The suit filed by the governors all challenges of declaration of a state of emergency rule in Rivers State. While the media previously reported that the suit has been filed before the Supreme Court, the governor's suit was actually only filed before the Apex Court on Tuesday. It was exclusively confirmed that the punch by the Director of Information and Public Relations of the Supreme Court, Dr. Festus Akande. President Bola Tinubu had on March 18 declared a state emergency in Rivers State and suspended Governor Similayo Fubara, the State Deputy Governor, Mr. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly for an initial period of 6 months. Following the suspension, President Bola Tinubu appointed Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas as the sole administrator of the oversee the affairs of the Rivers State, pending the period of the suspension. Meanwhile, the legislature at the National Assembly on their part supported the president's decision to implement the suspension. Aggressive by the suspension noted out one of the fellow party governors, 11 PDP state governors, approached the Supreme Court to challenging the suspension, the declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State, and the appointment of the sole administrators before the Apex Court in the country. The governors in the suit marked SS structure of the state. They also asked the Apex Court to determine if the way and the manner of President pronounced the state emergency declaration in the Rivers State was not a contravention of the 1999 Constitution. Whenever upon a proper construction interpretation of the previous section. Meanwhile, the response on the suit are within 14 days after the service of the summon on them, inclusive of the state of such service, causes an appearance to be entered for them. The suit filed by the opposition governor ended the week of speculation of what addition they had taken following the report that had earlier approached the Apex Court to challenge the president's action. Before Tuesday, 7 PDP governors, specifically from Bauchi, Adamawa, Bayelsa, Enugu, Osun, Plateau, and Zamfara State, reportedly decided to challenge the president's action by filing a suit before the Supreme Court to speak to the media. Last month, while speaking on the Rivers State situation, Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri, who is the chairman of the South-South Governors Forum, was also silent on the fielding the suit, and the details of the news is on Punch newspaper.
Jungle.
was in response to these innocent lives. Crude suspension of Dangote refinery affected OPEC output, says reports. Decision of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to suspend crude supply to the Dangote and other refineries affected the output of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Council in March. A resources survey found on OPEC oil output fell in March as Nigeria, Iran, and Venezuela fell to 50,000 bpd each, the survey found. Nigerian supply was said to have declined due to the reduced delivery to the Dangote refinery, offsetting high exports. The data stated that Nigeria is pumping slightly over its OPEC quota. In March, OPEC pumped 26.63 million barrels per day, down to 110,000 bpd. From February total, the survey showed
ọ̀rẹ́ mi gbà mí gbogbo àwọn ọ̀lẹ́kùn ilé mi ló ti dóògùn kódà gbogbo àwọn táìsì tí ń bẹ nílé mi kò lówó lójúmọ́.
ibo ló ti rà á.
ṣé bí lọ́dọ̀ àwọn kan tí ń tà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ọ̀nà.
o ti sọ wọ́n gbowó tí o ti gbọ́n pa ilé ìtajà Starland Homes Wear Enterprise ó kù nígbà àwọn gùdù eléyìí tó dojúkọ ilé ìfowópamọ́ Keystone Bank agbègbè àbáyọ̀mí ìwòrò nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn. báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ sí àwọn ilẹ̀kùn ayẹta àwọn táìtì tí ó gbóhùn iyì àti ẹwà bá ilé àwọn àgbá omi lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan moving sheet eléyìí tí ó gbé àwòrán ilé jáde àti bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ gbogbo rẹ̀ ló wà lójú kan náà lọ́dọ̀ Starland Homes Wear Enterprise fún gbogbo kọ́lékọ́lé àti àgbàlékọ́ gbogbo àwọn ohun èlò ilé eléyìí tí ó sọ ní rẹ̀ di àwòdámi ẹnu ọ̀dọ̀ Starland Homes Wear Enterprise ní orí àkàsí yìí ẹ pè sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 0708-760-5119 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 0708-760-5119 Starland Homes Wear Enterprise fún ojúlówó àwọn èròjà ilé tó ní owó lójú.
The Aces Hotels and Conference Center. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center is one and only event place with a clear difference and tasteful excellence. Is one and only event place with a clear difference and tasteful excellence here in the ancient city of Ibadan. For your next and upcoming event, whether marriage engagement, wedding reception, anniversaries, conferences, seminars, or birthday, the Aces Hotels and Conference Center is affordable and fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, power, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aces Hotel and Conference Center today at kilometer 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road, Akere, Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center, where comfortability speaks than words.
lóòótọ́ ni gbogbo ọ̀yà ni ó mọ̀ pera rẹ̀ lódù bó bá jẹ́ níbi tí ká bá ní ra mọ́tò láti òkè òkun tàbí ó fẹ́ ra ojúlówó mọ́tò ilé tí ó já lálòpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ mọ́tò Onabis Automobile òní oyè àkànṣí eléyìí tó kalẹ̀ sí kìlómítà 8 Old Ife Road àdójúkọ ilé ìtajà àgbàlódé Brent sọ́ọ̀mì nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn bóyá ẹ̀yin fẹ́ ra mọ́tò tàbí ẹ fẹ́ gis Onabis Automobile boom 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 boom.
So welcome back to the show. It's still from the newspaper. Another story says, Babcock Vice Chancellor reiterated commitment to producing employable graduates. The Vice Chancellor of Babcock University, Ilison Remo, Professor Ademola Tayo, has reiterated the commitment of the university to producing graduates who are not only socially and academically sound, but are also equipped with the hands to skill to navigate life and school and build a successful career for themselves. Tayo, in a statement on Wednesday, disclosed this while kicking off the annual graduating class week for over 3,000 final year students of the university, whose graduation comes up in June. The Vice Chancellor described the annual program as a time when the expert professionals, future employers, are brought